If you asked me what my favorite 3D Mario game is, it's a tight race between 64 and Sunshine, and that is simply because both of these games are very wide and sprawling, and they encourage experimentation in a way that games like Galaxy and 3D World rarely do. So if you're ever wondering why it is that I've spent so much time in the past talking about ROM hacks for both of these games, well, there's your answer. Surprisingly though, even though this is a summer marathon, I haven't made a single video on Mario Sunshine yet. Today, on day 15, I am going to rectify that. And also, Day 15! Give it up for Day 15! Today's ROM hack is called Super Mario Eclipse. This is a beefy demo of a game that is not yet complete, but based on what is currently available, it is gonna be a big deal. In a lot of ways, it already is. I had a lot of fun with this game. The game takes place seemingly immediately after the events of the vanilla game. The premise is that the Hotel Delfino manager decided to expand his business to include extravagant, luxurious cruise trips, and as such, Peach and Toadsworth decided to extend the vacation. Sounds like a great time, but there's just one catch. Stupid here forgot to invest in fuel. So it's up to you to hunt down some shine sprites to get the ship to move so you can actually cruise on this cruise. The boat itself is apparently the same one that used to belong to Daisy in Double Dash, but I guess she sold it so she could buy a better one or something. The first thing I noticed about this game, and one of the things I appreciated the most, is that the levels don't restart every time you pick up a shine. In the original game, you get booted out of the level every time you get a shine and you have to jump back in to get the next one. This game is more like Banjo-Kazooie, where you just keep going until you can no longer find anything. Then you go and find the next level, which is inside an arcade cabinet inside a big box. It does a great deal to cut down on tedium and keep up the momentum of the game, and possibly an even better improvement to the pacing and momentum is that the blue coins instantaneously and automatically grant you a shine sprite the second you collect 10 of them, so you don't even have to take them into Tom Nook's fat-ass cousin by the harbor anymore. Mario games are famous for their efficient pacing. They don't often like to waste your time with stuff, and they've been gradually leaning into that more and more with every game. Odyssey did the same with the decision not to kick you out of the level, and Bowser's Fury only has a single giant level to explore anyway, so there are absolutely no interruptions at all. Like I said before, the best thing about 64 and Sunshine is how open they are to experimentation. I remember this level, which ironically is borrowed from Galaxy 2, I think, where there was a collectible on top of this area here. I think what you were supposed to do was use the rocket jump from over here, but since I didn't know that existed yet, I instead did this psycho maneuver with Yoshi where I ended up jumping off his back and diving onto an airborne cloud, which allowed me access to the platform. That was such a baller-ass thing, I was so proud of myself. There was also this part where I spin jumped with Yoshi all the way up a literal house of cards. I don't know if that was how I was supposed to do it, but I felt so cool when I pulled it off. The platforming is fun and sometimes even exceptional, but really it's the exploration and the secrets that makes this game so rewarding. Checking every single corner for secret blue coins or even an entirely secret level or section of the level, it's a lot of fun. You got these Shine Sprite Challenge platform thingies where you press a switch and you gotta traverse this jungle gym within a time limit, kinda like Mario Odyssey. And to make it even more exciting, some levels actually let you play as Luigi or Il Piantissimo. Luigi can jump higher and Piantissimo gets a double jump move. Also, Yoshi has finally reversed his diabetes and no longer requires a piece of fruit every 2 minutes to keep from disintegrating, which is great because you no longer have to keep a durian on hand. Graphically, it's pretty much the same as the original game, but there are some really neat details, like how the coin designs are different depending on what level you're in. It's such a subtle thing that you could easily miss and ultimately doesn't change the gameplay all that much, but rewards the attentive player for having an eye for detail. Really, it's the the way the levels are actually designed where the game is the most impressive visually. You got this vaporwave level where everything is a neon grid pattern and you step on a floor of binary code that gives you the rocket nozzle, except when it doesn't. Then you go down a hole and end up in the pizza party dimension with the turbo nozzle that blasts instantaneously and goes twice as fast because this is a good video game. Beach Galaxy from Mario Galaxy 2, which was already a mini tribute to Mario Sunshine to begin with. Flip Switch Galaxy with boost pads that fling you around, but I think my favorite level has to be the casino level. It's set against the backdrop of the Delfino Casino, except the actual level takes place on a giant table full of chips and cards. There's a glass of water spilling all over the place to help you replenish your water supply, little cards with M logos on them, Luigi cards that give you coins, you got a big ass Jenga tower that's almost impossible to climb, giant dice floating around in the air, and then there's a chessboard full of pawns who all move back and forth, which is not at all how chess is supposed to work. And then one of the pieces moves to reveal an entire secret ghostly area. This exact thing happened to me last time I played chess with my uncle. I called it the Beano's Gambit. I lost, by the way. One thing that is kind of annoying in this game is probably the fact that I couldn't find a way to check my stats. In the original game, you hit Z, you'd get a screen telling you all the shines you got in every single level, but I can't seem to find that screen in this game, if it exists at all. The game does tell you how many shines and blue coins are in each level when you pause, but unless you've actually been keeping track of it manually entirely on your own end, that's only going to be so helpful in the grand scheme of things. There are also a small handful of areas that can use a little more polish, mostly with platforming challenges like this where the collision is a bit wonky and somewhat disconnected from the physical entity that it's supposed to represent. This is a demo, so it makes sense that not everything would work perfectly right out of the gate, so this is more of a word of caution for players rather than an intense criticism of a game that isn't finished yet. And aside from a handful of very incidental moments, the game works very well. There's something uniquely exciting about playing a demo for a ROM hack that isn't finished yet. While they are fun to play, you know in the back of your head that one day, maybe way down the road when it's finished, it's gonna be somehow even better. ROM hack demos are almost like a pilot episode of a TV show, showing off all the cool things you can expect to see if you decide to make it a full series. And this demo has shown off so many cool levels and new features that make me very excited to see what happens in the full game when it eventually comes out. I'm definitely hyped to play this day one, whenever that may be. But that's gonna be it for today's video. Don't forget to tune in to tomorrow's video. Can you guess what it is? I won't tell you straight up, but the answer will be very clear, I promise you. Thank you so much for watching my video.